an Android device, a phone that uses either an iPhone or an Android phone, there are updates that must be applied. Some are simple, some are complex, but if you do not do them, you are in trouble. And I can't emphasize that. I've been to hundreds of people's homes, and they say, my computer is slow, or my computer won't boot up. And I've had people say, well, I bought Norton antivirus, and I put it on my machine, and now I've got problems. But they never ran an update. They never ran a scan. They just put it on their computer, and they thought that's all I need to do. Well, unfortunately, that's not all we need to do. So, if we could go to the next slide, Barry. We all know that face up there, and we all see that wall that keeps us away from the internet. Barry's observation is just, it's stunning that there's that many people that use the internet, so few. Because really, whether we like it or not, and I know most of us have been drugged, screaming and kicking into the computer world. Maybe not willingly, but we had no choice. And the truth is, the internet can be our friend, but you have to have excellent judgment on what you're doing. If you don't, there's nothing but trouble. If you do, you'll be one of the few in your neighborhood that says, I use the internet all the time, I don't have any problem. And most people will say, yeah, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, if you do what we're talking about here today, and you do this just as regularly as you go to the doctor, as you go to the dentist, if you do it and realize that it's just part of the process. If you own a car, I guarantee you, you're getting maintenance done on it. If you own any type of computing device, there is maintenance to do. So, excuse me. With that as a backdrop, could we go to our next slide, Barry? This really put the cartoons in here to really say this, but you know, do nothing, and you know, there's a picture, and the keyboard down there. Of course, we all know along came a spider and sat down beside her, right? So that's what's waiting for you. But we have an answer that throws this right out of the picture. Next one, please, Barry. How many of you in your car, when that check engine light comes on, or the battery symbol, would just keep right on driving, or even worse, get a piece of black tape and put over it so you don't have to see it? Oh yeah, you know, out of sight is out of mind. So this is exactly what your computer has on the desktop. There are warning signs that will help you realize that it's time to take action. And you need to know where to look for them and what to do when you see them. And hopefully, that's what we can today give you a little more insight into doing. Some of you are already doing it, and this probably is old hat to you, but there are others. This might be a way to gain new confidence on how to better have the internet serve you rather than you be a victim of the internet. So, next slide, Barry. I've really already said this. No one likes to do updates. No one wants to go through the process. It's a pain in the posterior. And unfortunately, we just have no choice. I've singled out a program here that's one of my pet peeves. And I think my pointer has died. Now, here it is. Adobe Acrobat. That probably came on all of your computers when you bought it. And it's for reading PDF files, which is portable document file. It is so full of holes and so full of security gaps that there are almost weekly updates to Adobe Acrobat. The first thing I do with a computer, if someone asks me to work on it, I remove Adobe Acrobat. I half a dozen free programs that are much more secure, no nags, and there's a lot of programs like that. So the choice that you make of the software that you put on your device has a lot to do with how much satisfaction, if you will, that you're going to get from your unit. So next slide, please, Barry. The operating system, whatever you're using, has an operating system. Regardless of the device. In Mac, I'm going to just kind of go through these really simply for you. If you have a Mac, you simply choose Software Update from the Apple menu in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. That will take you to a menu. Just follow the menu and you will get your updates. If you own a PC, if you click on the Start menu, the bottom in the Start menu, of course, is at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, right down here where I'm pointing. Then click on All Programs and click on Windows Update. And after the Windows Updates open, check for updates on the top left side of the screen. Once Windows finished checking for updates, click Install button, and when the updates have finished reinstalling, restart your computer if prompted. Now, that's a lot of mechanics, and for the most part, I'm showing you this because that's how you do it manually. Fortunately, if you have the right setting, it does this for you automatically, and you don't have to worry about it. But I wanted you to know it's like cars. There was a day when you needed to know how to operate a stick shift and an automatic. Well, those days are gone. But with computers, you never know. There may be what's called a 0-day warning, which means that it's present right now, and there's nothing out there on your computer that's designed to combat it. So you have to do a manual update. I just wanted you to be aware of that. And for those, and there are many of you, that have an Android tablet system, you usually have 3 options, and it'll give you a warning for your operating system or for the apps that you have installed. Install now, install later, or more information. But that usually comes up as an automatic prompt. So next screen please, Barry. These are the icons that I'm telling you about. There's the Start menu, which is at the lower left-hand corner of your screen. This is a Windows Update notice. If you have any version of Windows, this is going to appear over here in your Startup menu, which is at the bottom right-hand corner.
You mean the system notification area?
Right. Well, that's the Startup menu.
Okay.
That's what I call it. So, yeah, that's where all the programs that you have running in Startup show up. You have your microphone there, you have your speaker there, you have whatever's running in the background all the time. And of course, Windows updates, if you get one, that will be there, and perhaps that's a better way to label it. And if you have an Apple, of course, or a Mac, then you know what the Apple menu looks like, and when you click on that, you go right into your system. So next, oh, by the way, not to be glossed over, there's the Windows 8 start screen. That's the original start screen. Many of you might have put on now what's called a classic interface, which gives you a start menu, different than the one that originally came with Windows 8. And now coming up will be Windows 8.1 update, which will be free from Microsoft. And they have restored the start menu. It'll be back in the system. So if you put on Classic Shell or one of those assistants, you won't need it anymore. You'll be back to what looks like Windows 7 or Vista.
I think that's coming up on October 18th, I think, something like that.
Rings true to me.
Okay.
Next slide, please, Barry. Now, if you're Apple and you clicked on the Apple, this will come up in your updates. And if you notice here, this is a Mac OS operating system X. X meaning 10 point something. Could be 10.5, could be 10.6. It depends on whether you have leopard, snow leopard, lion, whichever one you have. But it will show you the latest update and also the other updates that are available. So you can download all of those, or you can be selective and just update your operating system. But today, we're concentrating on operating systems. So that's the hombre right there. You want to make sure that you update that. And if you'll notice down here, it automatically defaults to 4 items. That's because there's a check by each item. If you don't want it, just simply uncheck it. That's simple. And if we could move on to the next one. Now, and there's still some XP users. So XP, if you go to the Start menu and click on Control Panel, over here, now again, this is how to manually do it. You'll see automatic updates, and I put an arrow there so you could see it. And when you click on that, your next screen is automatic updates. Now, this is dotted. See that circle with the dot? If you click there, that will automatically do your updates for you. And then you can choose whether you want to have it check every day, every week, and what time of day. Some people leave their computers on all the time. As a result, they want to do it in the middle of the night. Their updates is done. When they get up in the morning, their computer's up to date. They don't have to be delayed. They can go right into whatever they want to do for that day. So on the next screen, we will see what Vista, Windows 7, and Windows 8. And these are what you can set up for your automatic updates. That's what we want to do. Unless you're an advanced user on your system updates, you'll want to stay with automatic unless you really know what you're doing. So with any of these systems, Vista, Windows 7, or Windows 8, you open the control panel. And if you notice here, there are several choices. Download updates, but let me choose which one to install. That's for more advanced users. If you're an intermediate or a beginner, you should choose install updates automatically. And if you'll notice in parentheses, it says recommended. So choose the one that's best fitted for your experience level. And if you're not sure, choose automatic. You can never go wrong. And we'll go to the next slide, Barry.
Hold it a minute. Do you have to hit the OK button?
Sure. Yeah, everything is, just because you choose it, then you have to tell the computer to continue. That's just like selecting something on a cafeteria line, but until they put it on your tray, you can't eat it. Now, if you have Windows 8 and you haven't done the classic shell update, you probably have a problem finding the charm bar. So I put this in specifically for Windows 8 users. No matter what part of the Windows 8 you're working with, you can summon the charm bar using your mouse, your keyboard, or your touchscreen. Just simply follow these steps. If you've got a mouse, you point at the top or bottom right corners. And your charm bar is right here, and it will come up on your screen. If you're using a touch screen, slide your fingers inward from the screen's right edge, then open your charm bar. But in order to get to the updates, you need to have this charm bar come up, and that will be on the right hand, and that's a column, okay? And then you open the charm bar, turn on automatic updates, and turn it on or off. And of course, obviously, we strongly recommend put it on automatic. So with that said, we'll move on to the next one. I went to a class on Mahjong, and the teacher said, never, no, not ever. Because she said every time I say never and I don't add anything to it, somebody invariably says, well, what if? What if? What if? So I'm saying never, no, not ever, even if you hear a voice from the sky, don't do it. Turn off your computer until all of your updates have been installed. You want a problem, do that, because you get an update stuck and you've got to have somebody help you get rid of it. So bear in mind that you'll see on the screen that says, do not turn off your computer. Please observe those and make sure your updates are done before you turn your system on. Okay? Warning given, hopefully acknowledged. Thanks. Move on to the next one, Barry. We're going to mention today some various software programs. We think they work great. You may hate them, but please bear in mind we needed to give you some examples. We have chosen these because by and large they give us the best result, but it is in the category of what we're showing you, free. I am the king of free. I hate to pay. I hate to buy software. I can't even remember the last time I paid for software. So with that said, we're going to mention some programs. If you don't like them, there's plenty of alternatives. So don't think we're trying to saddle you with something you don't want. We're only showing you what they're capable of doing and an example, okay? So, next one, please, Barry. The number one thing we needed to do was to make sure our operating system was up to date. That's number one. Now, with that as a given, we're going to move on to the next thing that you absolutely must have on your computer. First one is an antivirus. Many of you were here last year, and you remember the gentleman from Avast gave us a wonderful presentation. Many of you are using Avast. It's a great antivirus. It's free, and it does automatic updates. There are other programs, but we're just simply telling you that you must have an antivirus, and the next you must have is an anti-malware. Used to be they called it spyware. Now they've used this universal term malware, which kind of puts everything together in one category. But malware is anything that's not a virus. With that in mind, you next need an alternate browser. Well, if you've got Apple, it came with Safari. If you've got anything in Windows, it came with Internet Explorer. But if either one of those browsers gets locked up or hijacked, you're dead in the water without an alternate browser. Very important. You must put on an alternate browser. Not your primary, but it's your backup. The next thing that you really must have is some way to clean unwanted temporary files. Every time you use the internet, you create temporary internet files, and those can get to be 100 megabytes, 200 megabytes, and they can overwhelm your computer, slow down your internet access, and ultimately choke it, literally choke it. So that's an item that you must have, and you also, if you have a Windows system, you need some type of gentle registry cleaner. So, I also mentioned here, this is overkill, forgive me. Pardon? The registry cleaner can best be thought of, we all remember how the old libraries, when you walked in, they had a card catalog. You looked in the card catalog, it told you where in the library to go find your book. That's what the registry does in Windows. It keeps track of everything on your computer, and it tells your computer where it's located. But this is just like in a library. If you go to the card catalog and there's no book on the shelf, that card needs to be thrown away. That's what unneeded registry entries do. They point to something that's no longer being used, you must, just like cleaning your house, you must go through and get rid of it. But if it's not a gentle program, it can be far too stringent, and you've got yourself a big registry problem. So we can't overemphasize the need for a registry cleaner, but we can't overemphasize the need that it's got to be a gentle one, and that's the one we've recommended today. Please.
What program do you recommend?
Oh, we'll get to that. You're just leading us right where we're going, so thank you very much. And again, overkill, but we need an alternate PDF. If it came with Adobe Acrobat, believe me, fire them, get rid of it. Okay, moving on now if we can. Here's the question. We went through just now what's essential. We're trying our best to choose automatic programs that update themselves without you manually having to do it. So, Avast is the one we just spoke about. It automatically updates your computer. Another one I found is Panda Cloud. And cloud simply means that you're connecting to the software through the internet, not on your computer. Through the internet, to the cloud, or somewhere else away from your computer. Panda Cloud will scan your computer. It's always up to date because it's on the cloud and it's free. So either one of those, but if you choose something else, fine. Just make sure you have one antivirus, no more.
Question.
Sure.
Can you have both Panda Cloud and Avast, one being on the cloud, one being?
Can't have two antivirus.
Okay.
No, not ever.
I do.
Go ahead, Lynn.
You know, I knew a guy that shot himself in the head once. But he never told me what happened.
Lynn, you have a question?
No, I just wanted to say, I have the Panda Cloud, and I have second ones on each of my computers, and it works.
God bless you.
It does not interfere.
God bless you. You know, I can't, here we have a testimony with no problems. You will have a conflict. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But all the experts, far from Barry and I, say one on. Anyway, good luck. Please.
Grace.
Yes. What PDF file reader do you recommend?
Well, we're going to get to that, but there's two that we really like. One of them is Nitro PDF. It's free. And the other is Firefox. I'm sorry, Foxfire.
Foxit.
Yep, right again. I stand corrected. Foxit, F-O-X-I-T. And either one of those are free. I like Nitro, but if somebody handed me a computer with Foxit on it, I wouldn't even give it a second thought. I know that I'm safe. Okay? Now, probably something that you didn't know that your Windows computer had, it's called Microsoft Windows Malicious Spyware Removal Tool. You won't see a button for it. You will not see an icon for it. They made it beautiful secret. And one of the 1,218,000 reasons why I hate Microsoft. But I digress. It updates itself when you do your Windows updates. And you can run it. You first click on Start. Then you click on Run. And then you type the letters MRT and press Enter. That's Malicious Removal Tools. That is the only way you can get to that program. No other way.
Will that remove a virus that I have on my computer?
Yes.
Because I tried to download an antivirus program, and my computer is telling me that the antivirus program has a virus, and it won't let me download it. So that means I have a virus, right? Under you?
Well, yes and no. I hate that answer. I hate that answer. But there are what's called false positives. And that is your antivirus program says that this is malicious, but it's really safe. But there aren't very many of them. So I would say the yes is 85% and the no is 15%. You probably have one, and if you have a Windows computer, the first thing you should do is make sure your operating system's up to date. Go home, then go through this step right here. Type in MRT in the, click on Start, Run, in the dialog box, type MRT, hit Enter. It will take about 45 seconds before anything happens. You'll think, well, nothing, I did something wrong. Be patient.
And
It'll
that's
come.
going to just delete it, I don't have to
Right.
do anything else?
No, it's going to offer you a choice on the next screen, whether you want a quick check or thorough. In your case, I would recommend thorough. Be prepared for 12, 14-hour scan. Depends on how big your hard drive is. One more, please.
How does Microsoft Windows determine what software is malicious? Is it just viruses? Or what?
Well, viruses and malware and viruses, the way they determine it, it's like fingerprints. The experts who develop these anti-programs go in and they look for certain characteristics. And when you're scanning, it's scanning files looking for those characteristics. We have perfect examples today in airports. They have cameras up which have facial recognition. And when they see a bad guy, it flags it. It automatically tells somebody, here's somebody that's on the wanted list. So it's like checking fingerprints. You go to DMV and give them your fingerprint, they'll pull up your file in less than a minute. Same thing here. Basically that's how it works. Okay, now, last but not least, there's a free edition called Spybot. Used to be called Spybot Search and Destroy. They've shortened it now to Spybot. And there is a free edition, and it updates itself on a weekly basis. Now, bear in mind, what we're trying to do is, if you're a newbie or you're a beginner, we're trying to point you to programs that are automatic, that update themselves, so you don't have to be a computer guru, okay? So, move on to the next screen. And thanks for those questions, by the way. Now, ones that do require manual updates is a program called Malwarebytes. We love that program, but it does require manual updates. Another one we really like is Super Anti-Spyware. It requires manual updates. So, what are you going to do? It's difficult on the internet, and we're going to show you in a minute, to find a free download site that's not loaded with a whole bunch of junk. Really, forgive me, but crap.
All the add-ons.
Yeah, and it puts on bars on your browser, puts on programs. It tells you, oh, you've got virus. It wants to put on all sorts of things. So we urge you and we beg you to go to our website, Deerfield Beach Computer Club, and if you click on Resource tab across the top, and then choose Downloads, you'll see at the top of the list on the left a program called Ninite, all-in-one download site. That has dozens of programs that are pest-free. They won't give you a bunch of junk, just the program, download it, install it, use it, enjoy it, with nothing extra. So, we're going to get to the next slide to show you what all Ninite has on. But You go to our website, and you just click on resources, and you click on downloads, and right there is 9-8. Okay? Just perfect timing, Barry. He's back. Next slide. Okay. In case you're curious, there is where, that's the address for 9-8. But you can get to it easily on our website. But it's, of course, http 98.com. And these are programs that are available for free. They're fully checked out by your Deerfield Beach Computer Club. Yes, Barry?
You'll find it under Resources, Downloads, and it's the top one in the first column. It's number 1. Okay, we'll show you that afterwards if we have time. Go ahead, Terry. Sorry for the
Okay,
interruption.
but let's just do a little looking here. Browsers, there's Chrome, Opera, Firefox, right there. Okay, let's go over here to messaging. Some of you have heard about or want to get involved with Skype, which is how to make free phone calls over the internet. There's your Skype program. If you want Yahoo, there it is right there, Yahoo Messenger. What's a good one here to point out? Oh, compression programs, ones that make a file smaller. There's 3 excellent ones, 7-Zip, WinRAR, and I don't know the middle one there, so, but if it's on there, it's been checked out. And security, here you've got Avast, here you've got AVG, there's Malwarebytes, there's Adware, and there's Super Anti-Spyware. So just on your club website, you got all of these programs that you don't have to go do a Google search for, and you don't have a bunch of junk that gets loaded on your computer without your permission. Please.
Spybot 2, that's the same one you were talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you load Spybot as well as Malwarebytes?
Sure. You can have as many anti-malware programs as you wish. 2 or 3 is usually enough, but only one antivirus is recommended. So go to our next one here, Barry. Malwarebytes. We like it, but it's got manual updates. If you click on the program, you will see update. And over here, it says check for updates. And you'll notice it tells you the last update that you did. So if you've done it, believe me, be right with you, believe me, you can check this twice a day and you will probably get updates. Yeah. Once ahead.
I have Malwarebytes installed, and maybe 2 or 3 times a day I see a little icon at the bottom saying we just updated Malwarebytes.
Well, did you pay for it? That's because it's not free. The free version is manual updates. The paid version, you get to ride in comfort.
Now, one thing I want to mention, you see where it's a protection tab is, the second one there where it says next to scanner protection. You can set that to go for 30 days and it will do it automatically for you. But after 30 days, the trial will be over and you'll start getting those messages. Now, Malwarebytes is no longer protecting you. Then you have the choice of doing it manually or paying for the version. I think it's $19.95 or something like that. So that's where some people have told me that they've seen that message, and that should clarify it, hopefully. Sorry for the interruption.
That's not an interruption. That
Yes.
helps us understand what we're doing.
Yes.
On the iPad, I went to 9-9, and security is not listed. There's a lot of them that aren't listed.
That's because a lot of those programs are for PC only,
Oh, okay.
but Avast works on both Mac and PC
And mobile, yeah.
and mobile.
Also for Android devices.
So the downloads here that I get on the iPad are only the ones that are available for the iPad?
Correct.
For
Okay,
the
thank you.
iOS.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, for the Apple operating system. Yes, ma'am. Or sir.
In addition to getting an update, How often you use the scanner in those malware programs?
I scan mine every week.
Every when?
Week. Once a week.
Scan.
The real answer is how often, the question is how often do you scan? And the answer is how much do you use the internet? If you're using the internet every day, you better scan once a week. If you're using the internet a couple of times a week, you can do it every 2 weeks. If you're only doing email and nothing else, maybe once every 3 weeks. But I would never go longer than 3 weeks without doing at least a quick scan.
Right, could you tell them the difference between the full and the quick?
Yeah. You will have a choice over here under scanner. You will have a choice of, as you did with MRT, malicious spyware removal tool, which is part of the Windows operating system. You'll have a choice of quick scan or complete. Quick scan usually takes an hour or so, whether it's malware bytes or whether it's malicious spyware removal tool. Complete has to do with how much space is on your hard drive, because it checks every file. And the first time you run it, the very first time, if you've just installed it, absolutely run complete. After that, probably the quick is all you need. Please.
When you're running these programs, you can't do anything else on your computer?
Oh, no. All these machines are multitasking.
Oh, so you can still operate your computer
Sure.
while it's scanning?
Sure. It does it in what's called in the background.
Okay.
It minimizes it. And please, next.
I hardly use my computer. The only time I use it really is for, I hardly use my computer. I have an iPad and the computer, it's in the way in the background. Do I have to update? I mean, when I turn it on, I do get the updates, it comes in automatically. Do I have to go through all this?
Not if you're allowing it to do the updates, no.
No, I hardly use it.
Well, your iPad is your computer.
That's my computer.
Yes, ma'am.
I keep getting a PUP when
Yeah, that's a malicious program.
it is.
Yeah, PUP is a spyware type program that the malware bytes will remove.
How do you, I keep getting it up there and removing it.
Well, that means that websites you're going to are constantly giving it to you. And you may, which program are you using when you find that?
Malware bytes.
Okay, I would run, if I were you, the MRT. It may be that you need a second program to find other places because there are called self-replicating malware. You eliminate it at one spot, but it's also located at a second spot. And the minute you remove the second spot, the first spot generates another one. Self-replicating.
Thank you.
Next, Barry. This is super anti-spyware, just on 9.9, just called Super. Again, you do the updates. You see the core definition here. It tells you when the last time you ran it up. Download the installer. And over here, it tells you the last time that an update was done. Again, this is a great program, but the free version requires manual updates. I'm not sure. I speak from ignorance. The paid version may do automatic updates, just like the paid version of Malware Bytes.
Does.
Next one.
Whoa.
Everybody recognize that. I dug that up. He was riding a dinosaur, and I snapped a picture of him as he came by. Remember, oh, the pain, the pain. Warning, Dr. Smith. Last time. We have a lady over here that's having no problems. God bless you. Never, no, not ever, have more than one antivirus program on your computer. It's perfectly okay to have more than one anti-malware, like spyware program. But if you're not sure, we're going to go through a question and answer session. We kind of integrated it into our presentation here. Thank you for those questions, but we'll also have a moment at the end to answer other questions as well. So Barry, if you'll move to the next one. We've really done the heavy lifting. Now we're going to get to the part where it's really a personal preference. We urge you, we beseech you, we beg you to have a secondary browser on your computer. So let's go to the next screen, please, Barry. If you have Windows, it came with Internet Explorer. If you have Mac, it came with Safari. If you have a Chromebook, it came with Chrome. If you have an Android tablet, it came with this symbol, which is more or less a universal browser. So it came with one of these. And why do I need another one on my computer? Well, that's a good question, and the answer is what we've got right here. It's all about safety and your ability to use your computer. So go to our next slide, please, Barry. Here's the other reason. Have any of you ever heard of browser hijackers? Okay? You turn on your computer, you go to your home page. Your home page may be Yahoo, and today your computer opens up to Izvestia in Russia. Your browser has been hijacked. It's redirecting it to another website. That website probably has keyloggers built into it. Every keystroke that you make is being saved and used. If you type your social security number, a credit card number, somebody somewhere can use that, and that's how identity theft takes place. The minute you open your browser up and it doesn't go to your home page, you must yell, "I got a problem." And that's the reason you need an alternate browser. You immediately stop using that browser, go to your alternate browser, get your updates on your spyware, and run them, because you have been infected. Okay? Next one. Now, we talked about temporary internet files. A lady brought up an excellent question on the registry. And finally good news. Huh? How about, let's give Barry a little round of applause. Hey, Barry. All right. We love and we recommend CCleaner. Originally, the name of that was Crap Cleaner. Some people were offended, so they made it CCleaner. And the good news is that you can go to our website and our club site and click on resources and then go to the download tab, and you'll see it's the third from the top right. Maybe we could go, well, we lost Barry. He's there. Oh, there he is. Could we go back to our 9.8 screen? Because I want to show you where CCleaner is there. You really do need this on your computer if you have a PC.
Let's see if we can go back to previous.
I think we've got about 4 screens to go back.
Okay.
Oh, that guy. I don't know if that was a good idea.
That's from Lost in Space, that guy.
Yeah. Warning, Dr. Smith. Remember the robot? Yeah, there we go. All right. And I think it's under what? Utilities, Barry? Or security?
Be under utilities, I believe.
Let's see.
CCleaner.
CCleaner. Let's see if we can find it here. Let's see how good we are. We can tell you how good we are. Now the question is, are we any good?
I don't know if it's listed on here, Terry.
I thought it was.
Mm-mm. No, it would be under utilities, and it's not there.
Well,
If you go back to the download screen, it's under that.
oh, that's it, Barry. I'm sorry, I misled you. It's not on the 9X screen. It's on our download page for the website. I'm very sorry. My apologies.
All right, let me get back to where we were.
Okay, and I even said there where to find it, and then I let myself lead myself astray. Boo on me. And next one. All right. Resources on our website. Choose downloads, and it's the third from the top right.
Okay.
It's not in Ninite, it's in, we have two sections. It's in downloads and CCleaner. Barry added that when he was setting up our new website. So, my apologies and thanks for the correction.
Okay.
Next one. Now, some of you will probably want, for whatever reason, you like to do a Google search for these programs. One of the safest places that we've recommended over time is a download site called File Hippo. And if you'll notice, it's got a hippopotamus there and File Hippo. And this is a screen capture of their answer to where you can get CCleaner. And over here, you click on download. See it over here on the right-hand side? And you can even choose which version you want. There's no junk here on File Hippo. You just get the program, that's it, nothing else. And Barry's going to take us now to a live website. Before class started, we did a file search for CCleaner with Google, using Google as our search engine. And I want to show you some of the results that came up. Okay? Now, see this one right up here? That's a paid ad. You want to avoid that like the plague.
How can you tell it's paid?
Because it's at the top, and it's got a frame around it, and it's highlighted. Guarantee you it's got junk that accompanies the download. The next one, you wouldn't know this, but the next one is Puriform. Puriform happens to be the one who generated the program. But we used to recommend very strongly download.com. I'm a little bit hesitant to recommend it anymore because it's got a lot of extra downloads that you have to go through and judiciously uncheck in order not to get them. But if you come on down a little further, you'll see that there's File Hippo. Bear in mind, folks, that right there, that's the program, that's where it's taking you. That's the program, that's where it's taking you. That's the program, that's where it's taking you. Always look to see where the name that you've searched for is going to take you. And make sure that's a destination you want to get to. Okay? So we could go back, if we will, now to our slideshow.
Excuse me for a second.
Sure.
Terry, why don't you go back to File Hippo for a second and do CCleaner. And do it under Google Chrome. Because I'll explain why in a second.
That is Chrome.
Yeah, but I want you to do a download, Barry, because CCleaner is small. And show them where it comes in under CCleaner comes in, so you can find that file when it's downloaded.
You know, that's probably a good idea, Bill, but I think that's taking us off track here from where we want to go.
The only reason why I'm saying that is because once you understand where it is, that you can obtain that file again. Because if you go up to the top right, you go into your downloads and get the file.
Well, once again, no, and you're certainly speaking correctly, but if you go to our website and go to our downloads to Ninite, you won't have that problem. So, to our next slide, please.
Let me get back where whoops, we're going backwards here. Huh?
No, you're at the right.
Okay.
The finish line is in sight. Any horse racing fans here? I hope so, because we're in a race. We need to get to our question and answer. The very last thing we're going to throw at you is, and that question was answered earlier, is alternates to Adobe Acrobat. And we like Foxit, and I happen to like Ninite. Barry likes Ninite as well. So either one of those works fine, and you'll do a Google search on that. Both are free, and they cost you nothing. And this is you'll find Foxit, our Nitro from the, both of these from the software originators, okay? So, with that said, I can't believe it. My congratulations, you guys let me get through this. We really done it.
Thank you, Terry. Great job. Great job.
My first question is,